Hey, everybody, it is Radley here with the energetic weather report for February 12th through the 18th. And I've got my friend and compatriot here, Sherry Wynn. Hey, Sherry.
Hi,
How's it going?
it's great.
How was
The
last
sun's
week?
out. The sun's out. I'm
The sun's
happy.
out. Sun's out. Yes, the sun is out. All right. So once again, this week, we are using the Sword of Light, the Archangel Michael Sword of Light Oracle cards for our energetic weather report for the week. But first, what are we going to do?
We're going to pick the 4
Archangel cards. That's right. So what we have here is 4 cards. They are a blend of my 2 decks, Archangel, that's right, Archangel Power Tarot cards and Angel Tarot cards, which both have archangels on all the major arcana cards. So I just blended them up and I chose 4. So whether you are watching or you are listening, what you need to do is to just focus and go intuitively and go, do you feel called to card number 1? Do you feel called to card number 2? Do you feel called to card number 3? Or do you feel called to card number 4? All right, so we'll just set those aside for a moment. And now we're going to go to the energetic weather report for February 12th through the 18th. Now, if you haven't been watching regularly, we have changed things up this year. So we are no longer doing a card for every day so that you have to try to memorize what the 7 cards are per day or go back and recheck. But instead, we are pulling 3 cards for the entire week and blending their messages together to come up with a storyline of what you can expect this week. So let's do a little bit of shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Okay. So I got it. What I got was to shuffle 5 times. So I did that. And so let's see what card. Oh, wow. So card number 1 is card number 5. So there we go. So this is card number 5. Be honest with yourself. All your feelings, even the difficult ones, have a message for you. Accept your truth and then let source take it from there. Now, one way to look at this card is about what I've recently been using this term, giving yourself grace. Sitting down, being honest with yourself about what is it exactly that you are feeling and what exactly is it that you are thinking and what is the real nature of those thoughts and those feelings. I mean, this is a week where we're talking about self-love for the heart. And the mind can really do a real number on your heart. And so when we sit down, we can sit down with Archangel Michael. In fact, here's this lovely lady, and those are Archangel Michael's hands. And you can tell because his ring has the sigil for Michael on it. And
that's great.
And so this woman is sitting there, and just like me, she was putting her hand over her heart. She was sitting there and she was closing her eyes and allowing for her to be able to be in touch with her feelings and be in understanding what those feelings are.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Yeah. But Sherry, recently you said something to me about, we have to be careful because we're such intuitive people that sometimes our feelings are not our own.
Right. And that happens to a lot of us because we're so compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes we take on other people's emotions and we don't even realize that they're not our own. So it's really important to tune into that and figure out if it is your own emotion, deal with it. If it's not, you really need to let it go because you don't want it to affect you.
And I think that we especially have to be careful on that particular front with people that are closest to us and who we love the most. I'm sure that's true for you with Austin and
yes.
me with Lee, where it's like sometimes I will just be like, ugh, and I will text Lee and go, I'm feeling crap and I don't know why. And he's like, I'm sorry, it's me. We're having a terrible day here in the store. Nobody's been in all day long. It's just it's just dead as a doornail. And I'm just feeling sorry for myself. And so it's like, I can then clear that. I can go, okay, it isn't me, it's him. And I can send Archangel Jophiel, the beauty of God, who helps us to think positive thoughts.
Yes.
And I can send Jophiel to Lee and try to help him out, but then I can take Michael's sword of light and sever that energetic connection and go, I love you, but I do not want to feel you today.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So our next card is card number 10. Don't settle for less. Don't settle for less. And so it says, you're a child of the divine and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. And so we have this lovely lady and she's got this box and it's got AM on it for Archangel Michael. And out of it are flying all these beautiful blue butterflies, symbolic of Archangel Michael, as saying that evolution is coming, change is coming, the next step is coming. Don't settle for less. In this thing, look at life as though it is a treasure box. Look at life as though it is a treasure, something to be enjoying, something to be embracing. Now, change, I felt like I should shuffle 5 times. The first card we got was card number 5. Butterflies are all about change. We can expect possibly some change this week, right? Possibly some change. But the thing about it that I don't want you to worry about is these are uplifting changes. A lot of people get really bent out of shape about change. I'm quintuple Sagittarius. I sprinkle change on my Wheaties. I mean, it's like in the morning because I actually rather like change. Sherry will tell you, if we don't change things up,
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
it's like, that's why I'm so excited about the podcast, the new podcast at mindbodyspirit.fm. If you're watching this, there's a podcast. So that's why I'm so excited about that. But don't get upset about the changes. Don't get worried about the changes. Think uplifting thoughts about them. And our last card is card number 19. Make a decision. Are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? Accept divine guidance pointing you towards your own joy. You deserve it. Now, what that card is talking about is sometimes when we cannot make a decision. See that here we have the scales made out of Archangel Michael's sword. We have the heart on the one side, and that's emotions, and we have the white feather, meaning the angels, our intuition, on the other. And here they're in balance, but sometimes they're not in balance. And so this card is basically saying, who are you making this choice for? This card has a lot of the energy of Ace of Air or Ace of Swords in traditional tarot to it. It's like, this is where we're going back to being honest with ourselves, right? Being honest with ourselves. In making this decision, are you choosing to do something that you want or choosing to do something someone else wants because you don't want to make them unhappy? And I would argue that there's a balance. And if there's not a balance, pick the thing that makes you happy.
Yes.
Because that's the only person you can really be responsible for.
Right. Correct. So true. Sometimes we forget that.
Sometimes we forget it a lot. Okay, so let's go back to your personal archangel of the week. So if you are watching, you can see the cards. If you are listening, then in the podcast, then either way, you're just tuning in to, do you feel drawn to card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, or card number 4? So Sherry, which card did you pick this week?
I picked 2.
All right. Okay. All right. So the first card is Leap of Faith from Archangel Power Tarot cards. In traditional tarot, this is the Fool card, which I didn't like that name. We talked about that last week. I changed it to something more positive. And if you're watching, yes, that is my beautiful boy, Jace. My dogs always wind up in my cards. And back then it was Jace's turn to make an appearance. And he makes an appearance in Angel Wisdom Tarot cards several times as well. But this is an Archangel Metatron. So as we talked about, he showed up last week. Metatron is about grounding, about focus, about protection for very sensitive people. He comes in a pink and green kind of swirl. In fact, I'm really trying my memory. I think watermelon tourmaline is a stone for Metatron because it's pink and green, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's right. The other thing that Metatron can do that's super, super cool is that Metatron can warp time. And if you listen to last week's podcast, I was talking about this time where I was like late for lunch with my husband because I couldn't get there in time. But another example of me using Metatron is that I can also be a terrible procrastinator, in particular when it comes to writing. And so very often, my editor will be like, chop, chop. And I'm like, oh crap. And so I asked Metatron to slow down time, and it works. It really works. It's like, I'll sit down to write and I'll think that it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's like, oh God, I didn't even eat lunch. And so I'll get up and I'll go to get lunch, and it's 10:15. And it's like, oh, that's right. I flipped the time warp button. Let's do time warp again. All right. So that's card number
I
one.
love that. That's
Card number
perfect.
two. That's the one you chose, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think you really like this Archangel. This is Archangel Haniel, as she
Ooh,
is on
the moon.
the moon. So Haniel is a super cool Archangel. She's one of 2 Archangels that I think is very specifically attuned and associated with our intuition, our psychic gifts, our divine gifts. If you don't like the word psychic, some people kind of like get freaked out on that word, divine gifts. But she is associated with that. And as such, she comes in the silvery blue of the moon. So she's very associated with the moon. The moon is associated with the tides and therefore feminine cycles. So Archangel Haniel is tied to feminine issues as well. But that whole psychic intuition thing, we were sort of talking about that in the energetic weather report as well. That whole sense of going within and getting really clear on what's going on. That last card about making a decision, the balance between intuition and heart. All right. So this happened last week. It's happened again. Card number 3 is Archangel Haniel, the moon, from Archangel Power Tarot cards. All right. So it's the same card. It's the same angel. It's the same story. So whether you picked 2 or 3, same story.
I love that.
Yeah. And then finally, for card number 4, we have the Justice card with Archangel Raguel, all right, from Angel Tarot cards. Raguel is the Archangel whose name means the friend of God. And so Archangel Raguel is great for helping you make new friends. He is great for justice issues because he can help people to understand and have compassion for your story. Raguel can help you meet the right people who can open doors for you, people who can so if you're, it's like, if you're a recording artist or something and you're looking for a label, Sandalphon from last week for the prayers and music, but also Raguel to help you to meet the right people.
Yes.
Right. And he comes in a pale blue. All right. Pale blue. All right. So this week, you might notice, is Valentine's Day week. And for those of you who are embracing that, yay. For those of you who wish it would just go away, I'm sorry. But for some reason, with my last name, it has never occurred to us to do this, but we're going to do it. So we're going to throw some love your way. All right. And we are going to have a Valentine's Day sale, and it's going to last all week, February 12th through the 18th, all week long. And you can find out all about it by going to radleyvalentine.com/be mine. BEMINE. That was Mooney's idea. Be mine. But it always makes me think of those little candies that taste like chalk,
Yeah.
that have they're fun to look at, but
They're so cute.
They're super cute. But so whether you are looking forward to Valentine's Day or not, we're going to give you some love by marking down a whole bunch of products on my page so that you can get a bunch of little presents for yourself. Our dear friend, Susan Dentino, is the queen of buying presents for herself. Follow her lead. Okay. Oh, and check out her book, Songs of My Life, Slightly Out of Tune, published by Hay House. All right.
Yes,
So I think that's it for this week, Sherry. Thanks so much for joining me.
it was fun. Thank you.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.